Good day, everyone out there in YouTube land. It is June the 14th of 2025, 8:41 a.m. Mr. Buzz coming to you from the communist shithole known as Ontario, Canada. And in light of it being a communist shithole, I'm going to talk about another communist thing. UBI, or Universal Basic Income. This sounds appealing to a lot of people. Free money, yes, give me free money. But here's the problem. Free money doesn't just fall from the sky. In our economic systems that we use on this planet, something has to be produced. A good or a service. Or the well eventually goes dry. Of course it does. Of course it does. But this is the first time we've had artificial intelligence putting people out of work. So that's why this is happening. Basically, anybody who drives a vehicle for a living, the entire entertainment industry, that's in big trouble. A whole bunch of industries. There's no sense to list them all. It's almost every one. Somebody swinging a hammer is going to be safe for a while because it's going to be a while before they have robots can walk into your home and build you a new staircase or whatever. That's going to be a bit. But basically, we're going to have a whole lot of unemployed people. So what are they going to do with all these people? Well, a UBI is really the only thing that'll work. There's no other choice. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to structure everything. They're still talking about it. I think Canada is one of the places it's going to happen sooner than later. A lot of people excited about it. Well, if they can find a way to make it happen and not bankrupt the country in no time, it's got to sustain itself. That's the thing. It has to sustain itself. How they make that happen, it's beyond me. I'm confused. Unless the artificial intelligence is going to generate goods and services and just as though the people were, and then the people can have free money and it won't bankrupt us. I don't know. I'm not an economist, and I don't know how that's going to work. I know the basics of economics, and the basics tell me that it's going to be very tricky to do this. Now, that's a communist thing, definitely. Everybody will get the equal amount. Everyone's going to be on an even playing field in those days when we have UBI. Now, I'm not a big proponent of 9-to-5 slavery, as many of you know. I made a video recently about 9-to-5 slavery, and I don't care for it. I think it stunts human development to be in a mind-numbing job you hate, doing a repetitive task over and over every day for just enough money to eat and pay your rent, and that's it. You don't really get anywhere in life that way. So, human beings having time, if we can do something like this, prevent 9-to-5 slavery from being imposed on everybody, give people freedom, not what they have in mind. They have something else in mind altogether. These CBDCs are even going to control what you spend your money on. If we go that direction, then, this is all bad. It's all bad in every way. But if we could find a way to end 9-to-5 slavery and have people still contribute somehow, but not in that mind-numbing slave way that you're just hating your life because every day you're getting up at 6 a.m., you're going to this place you can't stand, you're working around people that hate you and want to get you fired all the time, your boss treats you like you're a machine rather than a human being, you become a number, not a person anymore. If we can put an end to all that, hey, I'm all for it. I don't like any of that. Something we never did in this world was find a way to make to allow people to do the things they're really good at, because everyone is inclined for something. Okay? Everyone is. With me, it's music. With someone else, it's electrical and plumbing, or they can build houses really well. They're excellent carpenters just by nature. That's just the way they are. Or they're mathematicians, numbers. They're unbelievably good at that. So they're excellent at accounting and all these other things. But we don't put those people in those jobs. Some of them, you got people serving food in a restaurant who are brilliant mathematicians. Like, that shouldn't be. Why is this beautiful mind going to waste? Not that there's anything wrong with serving food, but if you're a brilliant mathematician, you're needed elsewhere. We've never done that. So we end up numbing the minds of so many people, putting them in these slave jobs. And so I'm not for that. I've spoken against that for many years. I don't think that's the way to go. The Lord meant for us to be free. I mean, I'd rather just be in a field and have a little piece of land, and I have to work hard every day to grow food and feed my family, whatever. But I'd prefer that, no matter how hard I got to work, at least I'm free. At least I'm free. And I'm not under the command of somebody who hates my guts, right? I mean, because I've had bosses that were just evil. They were like evil dictators, and I don't last long at those jobs. I had one job 2 days, and I just looked at the guy. He's yelling at me the second day I'm there. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I don't tolerate this, and I just put my tools down and left, right? I'm not tolerating that ever. It's not happening. So this UBI is going to become very necessary. I'm not sure, as I say, if they're going to find a way to do it and not bankrupt us. But they have pilot projects already. I don't really remember where they were. There was some in Canada, pilot projects, like beta tests basically, to see how UBI would work, and people signed up for it. Of course, going to give me some free money for a while? Yeah, sign me up. I'll take that. So I never get to participate in any of those, but I certainly would have. If, you want to give me some money, you don't have to ask me twice. So you want to give me free money, I'll take it. But I don't know how it's going to work out for the country as a whole. And I also don't want to see a situation in which everybody is limited to just that, and you're not allowed to go out and make any more money, or you're not allowed to advance, you're not allowed to save your money. CBDCs generally have an expiry date. You got to spend it within a certain amount of time. They don't want you to build it up. They don't want you to have a whole bunch of money. They want you to have this little bit they give you to sustain you day to day, and then the next month you get some more. That's the way they want it. So it all depends on how this is going to go. People would just go rah, rah, UBI. Of course, people rah, rah for everything, and they don't look into what they're going rah, rah for. You need to look at it and see if it's actually good or not. If it's something the government is doing, trust me, there's a very good chance it's not the best. Right? It could have all kinds of holes in it. It could have all kinds of problems. You have to look deeply into it to see how they plan to do it and what their intention is in the end. So, would it be nice if people could just live their lives and not have to slave away? Of course it would. How we make that happen? Well, AI must have something to do with it, because it's never been possible throughout history to do that. Human beings need to supply manpower, right? That's the way it's worked. You got to work in the field, you got to teach the children, you got to do something. Everybody has to do something to contribute. There was a book by Aldous Huxley called Walden, I believe it is. And it's about this. Aldous Huxley had a lot of ideas about utopian societies where we're not 9-to-5 slavery, we're not doing that, and everybody just contributes. I think in Walden it was like 4 hours a week everybody had to contribute to the cause. And then your food was free, your lodging was free, everything. And you got to just enjoy yourself in this place they called Walden. It's quite a book. I strongly recommend that book, actually. Aldous Huxley, even though he was one of the elites, he saw things in a much kinder, gentler way than the George Orwells. I'm not saying that George Orwell wanted to see 1984, but he was of the mind that that's where it was going to go. Aldous Huxley saw us doing it in a much kinder and nicer way, and actually trying to achieve happiness for everyday people. So I don't know what UBI is going to create for us, but I know there's a lot of people very excited about getting free money.